Alright everybody, we are back on the motorcycle. So today what we're going to be looking at is I think I'm going to put a set of highway bars on this thing. Now way back in the day, before I had the crash bar, I had these things attached to the frame here to try and have a semblance of a highway peg, but they were kind of in the way of the shifter and the brake lever. So I thought I would go with this crash bar. It's obviously got a place you can stick your leg, place to mount some cameras, that kind of good stuff. Now, for those of you who do long distance riding will know, changing the position of your legs will bring some relief to your sore ass after about 1,000 miles. I bought this because I thought, I can stick my leg up here. It does give you some relief. It's too high for me to put both my legs up. It doesn't feel comfortable, but I can stick one up at a time. It gives me a bit of relief. So, that was not the solution. So I went and I ordered some highway pegs. So I'm going to try and mount these and try and find a good position for them, because in a couple weeks I've got a big trip coming up. It should be over 7,000 kilometers. And I get the distinct feeling I'm going to need a little bit of relief from my butt. Now, why am I not putting these ones back on? The bracket is meant for 1.5 inches, which is what my frame is. Crash bar is 1.25 inches. I don't have any adapters to make them fit. These guys are 1.25 inches. They will fit. Not to mention the foot peg's a bit bigger, so hopefully these will be a little more comfortable. So let's get these guys mounted. First things first, I'm going to remove these camera mounts. I want to get the highway pegs positioned correctly, and I can always put these camera mounts back on whenever I'm done. Alright, so I just want to kind of do a dry fit here. So it looks like these are going to fit well, but I do have metal on metal, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a wrap of tape around this just to give it some extra grip, and that way I also won't wear the chrome off either piece. So just sitting on the bike doing a rough little, where should I put this? I'm going to stick it right in the middle. Can't go too wrong with that. So what we're going to do is put a little Gorilla Tape on it. I don't think we're going to need a whole lot, but okay, so a few things to note on this. You'll see that the inside of this part is splined, and so is this. So of course these need to mesh together so that this thing stays wherever you want it. Well, show you what's going on here. So these are supposed to be for 1.25 inches, and they do fit, but you can see I think my bolt's going to be too short. I'm not going to have enough threads in there, so I'm going to have to go get some different bolts for this. This is why I'm not a big fan of ordering online. 1.25 inches my ass. Now one thing you'll see here is that this bolt they sent me is a bit short because I've got a bit of a gap in here. So I went to the hardware store and got a longer one. I also got a lock washer just because. So I'm going to take off that lock washer as it's actually too big. So I'm just going to go with the flat washer here. Now these are just a 19 mil bolt, metric of course. I'm just going to snug it up here. Let's just see what that feels like. Okay, that's way too far for me to reach. Now obviously everybody's legs are a little different, everybody sits a little different on their bikes, so it might take a little finagling to find something that works well. Okay, so after just a little bit of messing around, I've sort of come up with this. And this is just for me. So I've got these things on the front of the crash bar, coming back out at an angle. Now of course I gotta adjust things a little bit more, but these ones allow you can put it back here, extend it, you can move it in or out. There's lots of adjustment. Obviously you're going to have to find something that works for you. So let's just take a quick look at this here. Now that's not too bad. I think it's obviously going to be get them on, get them kind of comfy and go for a ride. But there's also other adjustment in here. I want to make it so when I fold these up that they're not going to be in my way. So we can mess with that a little bit here. Well, that's not bad. And I'm also obviously not wearing my riding boots. So once I get these things on here, I'll go put my boots on and give them another feel. I think what I'm going to do now is just clean these up just a touch. So you can see I've got tape exposed here. Now I have a nice sharp utility knife and I don't want to gouge the metal, but I'm just going to run it around and cut off this excess tape. Alright, there's one mounted. Let's get the other one on. So as I was putting in the bracket on this side, the piece of garbage snapped off. So not happy. These are off Amazon, probably some knockoff piece of garbage. That'll teach me to buy off knockoff pieces of garbage. Okay, so I'm not one who gives up usually too easy. This is an 1.5 inch bracket. Now these are Kuriakin. These feel like nice strong metal. These, I don't know what the hell these are called. They're a smaller bracket. They do feel lighter. They're crap. So this is some rubber plumbing tape that you can like wrap around a lake of a pipe. It's self-sealing, it's rubber. So basically I've increased the diameter of the pipe to make these fit. So, lesson number 1, pay the extra for brand name. Lesson number 2, just because you break something doesn't mean you can't find an alternative. Let's see if we can't get this mounted properly. Alright, so what I've done here is I've put several rounds of Gorilla Tape on there. Now this is the Gorilla Tape you can use to fix your bumpers and whatever. It's really sticky. It's like a super duct tape. And I'm going to assume it's supposed to be good for the elements. So all I did is I made the pipe a little bigger. I can use my 1.5" brackets. Just when you pick these things up, these things weigh a ton. These ones don't. I paid about half as much for, you know, off-brand. I'm getting cheap in my old age. Should have splurged and went with the brand name. My own fault. However, actually now that I kind of look at these, no, I think they'll sit out too far. Anyway, I can use this bracket to mount my new pegs. And if this succeeds, I'll probably do the same on the other side, just as these brackets probably sit just a bit differently. I'm a little weird that way. I like to have things symmetrical, even if it is ugly. So let's put these on and see what they look like. Alright, so I mounted this one using several rounds of Gorilla Tape. You know, it'll hold. It's got a little give to it because the tape itself will kind of slide on each layer, which I don't particularly like. Not to mention, it's tape. It's going to get wet or dry out. I mean, maybe this thing will hold, maybe it won't. However, this is a message for all of you dads out there who keep things because someday you might need it. Boy, are you going to love this. I am a handyman by trade. I do all kinds of things, including plumbing. This is a piece of drain. I don't know. I have been holding on to this thing for 5 years because you never know. Well, guess what? Its outer diameter is a perfect 1.5 inches. Its inner diameter is 1.25 inches. I'm going to cut a couple pieces of this off, slice it down the middle in half, and use it as a bushing in here because it's hard plastic. It's, I don't know, PVC or ABS. So for all you guys out there that hang on to things and you have a cluttered garage like mine, because someday you just never know, today this 38-cent piece of pipe came in handy. Now if only I could find a use for all the other crap in my garage. Alright, let's try this and see if it works. Alright, so I used this bracket as a template, and I cut a piece of that pipe to fit inside, and then of course I cut it in half to get it around this thing. Now it's actually a little big, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sand down these edges a bit so there's a bit of a gap in it. Might be a little tough to see, but I've done it so there's just a small gap on there, so that way it gives us room to move and should hopefully grip well. Not enough grip. That holds well. Let's just see if we got it in the right spot. All right. Defeat snatched from the jaws of victory. No, wait. Victory snatched from the jaws of defeat. Yeah, that's it. Let's just clean up this tape a little bit here. There we go. Let's do the other one. Alright, so after a colossal amount of messing around and breaking brackets and stuff, I have them installed. That little piece of drain pipe was a perfect fit. These things are nice and rock solid. I have one layer of tape underneath to give the plastic a bit of grip, and we're good to go. Now, I'm going to go put on my motorcycle boots and we're going to try this out because I've been just wearing my work shoes. Hopefully it feels the same. Looks good, just got to put my camera mounts back on and then I'm all done. Alright, everything's back together. All I do now is go for a ride and test it out. Any excuse to go for a ride. Actually kind of need to because I want to test it out before I go on my big trip. So, there you go in a nutshell. That's how you take a set of brackets, break them, take a different set, modify them, and make everything work. Hopefully they stay on there nice and tight. Thanks for watching.